Welcome back to Machine Universe, where raw power meets precision in America's lumber heartland. Across the nation, the timber industry isn't just a trade. It's a symbol of engineering, endurance, and heritage. From southern pine forests to the sawmills of the Carolinas, it has built towns, powered economies, and shaped modern life. Among its leaders stands Columns Lumber Products in Allendale, South Carolina, a family-owned mill known as one of the most advanced southern yellow pine operations in the U.S. Every board's journey begins deep in the forest. Tiger Cat and John Deere harvesters grip, slice, and bundle trees in seconds, precision at an industrial scale. Skidders drag the heavy loads across rugged terrain, and at the landing, the limber strip branches clean, leaving timber ready for transport. Each movement is calculated, each machine plays its part, transforming nature's strength into American craftsmanship. Finally, the logs are stacked on roaring trucks, chains tightened and engines growling, as another shipment of southern yellow pine begins its journey to fuel America's future. From the quiet forest to the roar of diesel on the highway, log trucks roll toward Columns Lumber Products, where raw timber is reborn as the lumber that builds America.
Down here in West Fraser. Yep, it backed up. About 5 out here, that means it's about 6 more in the mill. All right, now. Hop out.
Each truck, hauling over 26 tons of southern yellow pine, crosses the scale house where every pound is measured, vital for both loggers and mill operations. From there, logs move to the drop zone, lifted by massive hydraulic loaders, and fed straight to the hot deck to keep production non-stop. Inside, the process starts with debarking. Spinning blades strip bark, dirt, and rock in seconds. Even the bark is reused as fuel or mulch, proving nothing goes to waste. Next, the merchandisers laser scan each log, mapping precise cuts to maximize value. Curved logs become shorter lumber. Straight ones may turn into utility poles or premium boards. Finally, the logs move to the primary breakdown, where they're sliced into cants and slabs. the first step in transforming nature's raw strength into the wood that shapes America. For logs up to 42 inches in diameter, the carriage saw is the go-to machine. Guided by laser scanners and a skilled operator, it makes precise cuts as slabs are peeled away. These slabs move to the horizontal resaw where they're sliced into 1-2-inch boards, while leftovers are turned into wood chips for pulp and paper. Nothing wasted. Smaller logs enter the double-length infeed and reducer twin, where chip heads and vertical saws cut two flat faces for balance. The sideboards head to the edger while the squared cant advances to the curve saw gang, a high-tech system that follows the natural curve of the wood to increase yield and preserve strength. Finally, during secondary breakdown, the edger squares rough boards, the trimmer cuts them to standard sizes, and any remaining material is recycled. It's a seamless blend of technology, precision, and craftsmanship, ensuring every log reaches its full potential. Boards that don't meet standards are sent back to the edger for recovery, while approved boards move forward to sorting, stacking, and kiln drying. Inside the automated sorter, robotic arms organize lumber by length, width, and thickness, building uniform bundles separated by thin spacers for airflow. Forklifts then carry the stacks to the drying kilns, where heated air carefully reduces moisture, ensuring the wood stays straight, strong, and stable. Once dried, boards enter the planer mill, where advanced machines smooth all four sides to precise dimensions, 2 AEO4s, 2 HEO6, and beyond. Automated scanners grade each piece, stamping its strength and quality certification before it's bundled, wrapped, and shipped to builders across America. Nothing is wasted here. Bark becomes fuel or mulch, sawdust feeds biomass plants, and wood chips supply paper mills. Even the kilns and planers run partly on solar energy from the company's on-site 924 kWh array. With over 200 local employees and roots dating back to the 1930s, Columns Lumber Products stands as a modern symbol of American craftsmanship and sustainability, transforming southern pine into the lumber that builds the nation. Each year, millions of board feet roll out of American mills. But the story of U.S. lumber doesn't end there. Beyond the South rises another frontier, the rugged mountains and vast forests of the Northwest. If towering columns represent the legacy of southern yellow pine, then the Idaho Forest Group stands as a symbol of the West. Power, scale, and innovation combined. With mills producing over 1 billion board feet annually, IFG ranks among America's largest lumber producers, driving both local communities and the national economy forward. But what does it take to manage the massive flow of timber from Idaho's endless forest? What kind of machines, technology, and vision can turn nature's raw strength into an industrial giant? Join us in the next chapter as we journey deep into the heart of Idaho's forest and step inside the cutting-edge facilities of Idaho Forest Group, where the future of American lumber is being forged today. High in the rugged mountains of the American Northwest, the story of lumber unfolds on a whole new scale. Here in Idaho, where forests stretch for millions of acres, the challenge isn't just cutting the trees. It's moving them across steep slopes, icy roads, and vast distances. Mechanical giants command this landscape. Feller bunchers glide between towering firs and pines, gripping and slicing each tree in a single, powerful motion. The John Deere 648H speeds across the rough ground, dragging massive logs toward the landing site. Heavy-duty loaders equipped with grapples take over, stripping branches, cutting off the tops, and slicing the trunks into clean, even logs. With surgical precision, they stack the timber onto waiting trucks ready for transport. The legendary Kenworth W900, an icon of American logging, hauls massive Idaho timber down from the mountains to Idaho Forest Group's Chilko Mill, north of Coeur d'Alene. Inside one of North America's largest and most advanced sawmills, scale is everything. Chilko alone produces nearly 280 million board feet a year, with IFG's total output topping 1 billion. The process begins at the weigh station, where each truck's load is measured with precision before the logs move on to their next transformation.
Let's see if this thing reaches all the way across the trailer. I'm at a friend of mine's sawmill again, and he needed a custom order of long logs for a project he had, and I just happen to have a clearing project going on. So
These log decks represent more than inventory. They stand for stability, ensuring production continues even when winter storms close the mountain roads. Logs move to the debarker, where spinning knives and chains strip away bark, dirt, and ice. At IFG, modern ring debarkers dominate this stage, keeping equipment clean, reducing blade wear, and improving scanning accuracy. Even the bark is reused as biomass fuel, ensuring nothing goes to waste. After debarking, laser scanners create 3D models of each log. Optimization software decides the best cutting pattern for maximum recovery. Large logs move to the head rig saw, where the first cuts produce rough cants and flitches. But flare reducers remove irregular bases, improving consistency and material flow. Next, cants and flitches enter resaws and gang saws, where multiple blades cut precise boards in a single pass. Curve sawing systems follow each log's natural shape, boosting yield and minimizing waste. Every cut is guided by digital precision rather than intuition. Boards leaving the saw line often have rounded edges or bark. Automated edgers scan and trim them into square, clean lumber. Offcuts are chipped for pulp or biomass fuel. Laser-guided trimmers then cut boards to exact lengths, removing defects and ensuring only top-grade lumber continues forward. Finally, boards are automatically sorted by size and grade, stacked layer by layer with spacers for airflow, and moved to the yard for drying. Inside IFG's kilns, temperature and humidity are carefully controlled to bring moisture below 19%. Proper drying prevents warping and cracking, keeping every board stable, strong, and ready for construction. The dried lumber is then planed smooth, graded, and prepared for shipment, ready to become part of something built to last. Advanced curve sawing technology allows the blades to follow the natural curvature of each log, increasing recovery and minimizing waste. Every pass is guided by real-time scanning data. Unlike older mills where sawyers relied on instinct, modern IFG mills depend on optimization software to extract the highest value from every tree. Boards leaving the gang saw often carry rounded edges or bits of bark. They move to the edger where scanners analyze each board and automatically position the saws. In a fraction of a second, the edges are trimmed, producing clean, square lumber ready for the next step. The side strips are sent to chippers, turned into pulp chips for paper or biomass fuel. Laser-guided trimmers analyze each board for length, defects, and grade before cutting them to precise dimensions. This trimming line also serves as a second checkpoint. Boards that don't meet size or quality standards are marked and rerouted, ensuring only top-grade lumber continues forward. Clean boards then move to the automated sorter separated by thickness, width, and length, before being stacked layer by layer with spacers for airflow. Forklifts carry the green packs to the yard, preparing them for kiln drying. Dry packs move to the planer mill, one of IFG's most advanced stages. Rough boards pass through high-speed planers that smooth every surface for a uniform finish. Automated graders with cameras and sensors inspect each piece, assigning grades based on strength and appearance. Every board is stamped and certified for structural integrity, ready for its specific marking. packaging and distribution. Finished lumber is bundled, strapped with steel or plastic bands, and wrapped for protection. Each package carries IFG's logo and mill information, a mark of quality recognized worldwide. The bundles are then loaded onto rail cars and trucks, shipping across the U.S. and to global markets. Scale and impact. With mills in Chilco, Moyie Springs, Laclede, Lewiston, Grangeville, and Athol, IFG produces over 1 billion board feet of lumber each year, combining advanced technology, scale, and craftsmanship to power the wood industry forward. Standing among North America's leading lumber producers, Idaho Forest Group, IFG, is a cornerstone of the state's economy, supporting over 16,000 forestry jobs and sustaining rural communities. From loggers cutting timber in steep mountain terrain to truck drivers hauling heavy loads and mill operators running advanced equipment, every role keeps the wood industry moving. Even byproducts like chips, bark, and sawdust are repurposed for paper, biomass energy, and landscaping, ensuring nothing goes to waste. IFG invests heavily in automation, scanning systems, and optimization technology, allowing the company to produce more usable lumber from fewer trees while reducing environmental impact. Working with state and federal agencies, IFG promotes healthy forests through responsible harvesting, fuel reduction, and replanting programs. Inside mills across Idaho, high-precision laser scanners, curve saws, edgers, and automated planers turn raw logs into perfectly graded boards, over 1 billion board feet each year. Conveyors, sensors, and robotics streamline nearly every step while skilled workers ensure safety and quality. Every machine, worker, and freight truck plays a role in a system built on precision, efficiency, and zero waste. A chain that begins in the forest and ends in homes and buildings across the country. From forest to freight car, IFG represents the scale, power, and innovation of America's modern lumber industry. From the southern pines of South Carolina to the towering forests of Idaho, the story of American lumber stretches across vast landscapes and generations. It begins in the quiet shade of longleaf pine stands, hardwood river bottoms, and the immense Douglas firs that dominate the Northwest. Through changing tools, changing markets, and changing times, the industry has continued to evolve, always finding new ways to blend tradition with progress. At Columns Lumber Products in South Carolina, that balance is on full display. This fourth-generation family mill carries decades of heritage while embracing modern efficiency. Skilled operators work alongside scanners, computerized saw lines, and precision kilns, producing nearly 200 million board feet of lumber each year. Every board that leaves the mill reflects a mix of experience, careful craftsmanship, and updated technology. Across the country, in the rugged timberlands of the Intermountain West, the Idaho Forest Group represents the cutting edge of the industry. Their operations use advanced automation, high-speed optimization, and real-time data systems to turn out more than 1 billion board feet annually. Even at this scale, their focus remains on responsible forestry, long-term sustainability, and investing in workers and communities.